Last time on Polymorph Self, the epic saga of Seyda the Barbarian, who is good at decapitating, but doesn't let that define her. Garrick the Scholar, whom we met at the ominous monolith, turned out to be something of a dick, who tried to make certain members of the party feel bad about their career choices. Speaking scholar to scholar, Onas was able to charm some information about a dimensional alligator out of him. I'm still not entirely sure what one of those is, but I'm confident that when we meet it, we can hit it. Speaking of hitting, Hjani went a bit too far when she lost her cool with Garrick, and she forced the tiny human into the tower with us. Inside there was a rat pile, and I feel sick just thinking about it. And Onas still looks pretty peaky too. When that horrible mess was sorted, Bjorn discovered Garrick had made a break for it, taking the door back outside with him. Now, we are stuck inside, all out of potions, and surrounded by spiderwebs.
In our formation that we...
Okay, about 50 feet more down this really long hall going into the depths of the monolith, the hallway ends, and you emerge into a large space. The room extends beyond the scope of your light. It must be big. The wall beside you runs north and south for about 20 feet before turning inwards on a diagonal, suggesting that this is a huge octagonal hall. Looking up, you see the ceiling curving into a high dome, although you can only see a small section of it. There are large strands of webbing up there. In among the strands seem to be large hanging sacks of dirty silk, like oversized cocoons.
Oh, man, we got from rats to spiders. Ugh. Or silkworms.
So it just like opens up there. It opens up into just a cavernous space, which is just the sphere of your light.
Right.
And the walls to your left and right, which is north and south, stretch away, then kind of turn in diagonally and then disappear into the light. And you can see a section of the dome, and you can see all this sort of webs and man-sized cocoons hanging up there.
Oh, that's a bad sign. Crack team, hush. Let me listen.
What's your listen skill?
My listen skill is a 6.
And make a DC 12 check.
It's 16 plus 6, 22.
You can hear that, although you can't feel it, there is some kind of airflow. And you can hear it sort of like flapping strands of web up on the dome. Now, you're not, like, you haven't got sonar and most of this is dark, but you can hear, like, the slight twanging of web strands, like something is
plucking away,
plucking on them just a little bit, because it's otherwise silent in here. You're able to detect, like, sort of movement up somewhere, and what you imagine will be the rest of the dome, which is kind of in darkness to you right now.
All right, guys, I hear air moving. That means there must be other ways out of here, and some kind of plucking on those webs up there.
We shouldn't disturb those webs.
No.
We should not touch those webs, because that could be bad.
Let's be very, very quiet.
Yeah, do you guys just want to walk into the center of this giant room, or go along the wall for a bit?
I say go along the wall.
Oh, and here I was like, maybe I should dip my arrows into flame or something and just shoot them up at the ceiling.
Yeah, well, you've done enough for one day. Let's just follow the wall along. So
Hjani, do you have any oil on you?
I don't, but I do have torches.
Here,
and a
torches,
bullseye lantern.
The rags on torches are normally dipped in tallow, like kind of fat, essentially. But if you have a bullseye lantern runs for about 6 hours on a portion of oil. In the sort of drawer at the bottom will be oil.
I do have a bullseye lantern.
I also have a bullseye lantern.
So you could sacrifice one of those in order to oil up some arrows.
Let me do that then. Hey, team, how do you feel about that instead of just creeping along the wall?
Just setting the room on fire?
Let's set it on fire.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
I don't see what could possibly go wrong, so yes.
All right, so I dip a couple arrows into my bullseye lantern. I guess therefore you're using up the oil.
Okay, you take out your bullseye lantern, which again is a lantern which is enclosed apart from one glass window, and the inside is mirrored. And you look at the thick base of it, and you see it does have a drawer which slides out, and you see this sort of viscous, quite thick oil substance inside. You dip some arrows in, you bring over Bjorn's torch, and one of your arrow just lights up, and it's really fizzing like a firework. You take aim, and you just shoot it directly up. You see it arc up, illuminating a large cavernous dome ceiling in this huge room, showing just like a myriad of spider webs up there, huge ones, and lots of man-shaped cocoons, sort of pods hanging up there. It just blazes a path through some webs, setting a whole load of them on fire, and sticks into a cocoon, turning it into a blaze. The fire quickly spreads, lighting up the entire ceiling area like a firework display, essentially, crackling, popping, spitting. It just spreads like wildfire on webs, which are, flammable.
Highly flammable, apparently.
And the cocoons start going on fire, flaming, popping and dropping. And in fact, you see and hear 2 of them pop, burst, and what sounds like a rain of coins, treasure, and metal objects come falling out somewhere across the hall. Yeah, and also you see 2 of the largest monstrous spiders you've ever seen come sort of dropping down, turning circles. Now these things, right, now you've illuminated this huge hall, but we're going to have to take actions. You haven't really got time to survey it just yet. What you do notice, it is a massive octagon, and there's a huge central pillar in it going up to the top of the dome. These spiders, they're sort of their thorax and their sort of heads leading up to the abdomen, about the size of like a human, and the abdomen is just a massive bulbous mass about the size of these 3 tables we're looking at. And they have 8 legs, and they are currently like panicking and flitting around. They're huge, but they're still animalistic and not intelligent. But these 2 massive spiders come scurrying down the central pillar, and they're skittering around, and at one point they stop and sort of fix their 8 simple eyes on you.
Sorry, are the spiders on fire?
No, they're not. They basically just sort of like came dropping immediately.
I think they're about to be.
It started like spreading. So we're going to roll for initiative just to see the order of actions and then see what we're going to do. But at the moment, the whole thing is magnificently lit up.
A cursory glance at the walls around us. Did they show that there were torches sticking out that we could have walked around? Just to ease my own mind before we get into this big spider fight.
What do you mean?
Like, were there torches affixed to the walls that we?
No,
could...
there weren't.
Okay,
They're just
good.
Plain.
Good. Let's carry on.
It's carved out of grey granite. This room. So the
You're
spiders
welcome.
have a +3 to initiative, so they get 12 plus 3 is 15. That's the number to beat to act first. So spiders get 15. Onas.
I get 5. Plus, sorry, what do I add on? Oh, initiative plus, 2. 7.
7. Seyda.
I have a +7 to initiative. I rolled a 4 plus 7 is math. 11. 11-ish.
11 for Seyda. Bjorn.
I have a +4 to initiative. That's a 16. +4 is 20.
And Hjani.
I have... Oh, how have I suddenly forgotten what initiative is? Dexterity, was it?
It's just...
It says initiative
Oh,
right there.
+5. Sorry, +5.
Yeah.
6 plus 5, 11.
Which means the order of action is Bjorn, spiders, Seyda and Hjani, and then Onas. So Bjorn, you've heard the scene. The 2 spiders, this is a large hall. They're by the central pillar, so they're a full 60 feet away from you. But they can't, they're huge and they can skitter pretty fast. But you've got the first action. What do you do?
I
Don't dither.
I drop my torch and hastily dip as many arrows as I can in this time in oil.
Okay, so you pull your bow and your arrows,
Yes.
drop the torch, and try to get some fire arrows on the go. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a full round action. You can successfully do that and have a...
Should I roll anything to see how many arrows I have dipped in oil?
No, we'll get to that. You're
All
doing
right.
that action.
All right.
You're getting a load done.
Whoa.
And noted. So now we go to the spiders. One of the spiders comes skittering over towards the lot of you generally at a breakneck pace. Like it can do 40 feet around in 6 seconds. So its action is to come just like horrifically charging towards you, this huge, giant, so monstrous spider. But of course,
legs.
let's call him legs, yes. No.
Wheels? He's fast.
He's fast, but he's not. He still doesn't completely close the gap in his round.
All right.
He's still 20 feet short of you, but you can see this huge spider bearing down on you very scarily. The other spider is going to shoot its webbing at one of you, and I'm going to roll the dice. 1 is Onas, 2 for Seyda, 3 for Bjorn, 4 for Hjani. That's a 1.
Yeah.
It would be, wouldn't it?
It backs up to the the reared position.
Yeah, I know.
And shoots a huge rope, a strand of white
spaffy,
silk through the air,
arching and hitting me in the face.
Heading for you. It's heading
in
for
the
you.
chest.
Face normally, I thought.
The face, neck, and chest. Get it right.
The navel.
Here's what you have to do: is you have to make a reflex save. DC 15 to get out of the way. That's what I'm ruling.
Okay.
Because it's coming a long way.
Here's my reflex save to dodge this warm jet of white fluid. I rolled a 10.
+3.
+3. I rolled a 13.
A 13, and
You
I said
15, I
right?
think, yeah.
So you try to move, but it just comes at incredible speed, and it just drenches you from head to foot, knocks you down, and actually sticks you to the ground in a web. Now, I don't know if you know about this, but
No.
we can only break spider webs because they're small, right? But if a spider web was proportionately big, it's actually like steel tension cable strong.
Could I also point out that proportionally spiders this size couldn't actually exist because their body weight
Shut
is
up.
too big.
Yeah, I'm just going to edit that because it's a fantasy world.
Can
That's the
we-
kind of comment we're not going to go.
Can we tell if this spider's been eating a lot of pineapple?
You'll have to ask Onas in a moment. Now, Onas, when it becomes your round again, you can choose to make a strength check to get out against DC 17. But if you have Escape Artist as a good skill, it's an Escape Artist DC 13, which means I guess Bjorn is especially talented at getting out of such situations.
Well, it's a skill, not to get too ruly, but it's a skill that we use untrained on dexterity.
Yes.
And my dexterity is pretty high, so I might do that.
What is your dexterity bonus?
15 +2.
+2. So yeah, you don't. So next round you could +2 and try to beat 13 to get out.
Yeah, okay.
But that'll be the next round.
But I'm stuck in the
So you're stuck, and the
jizz.
other spider's almost on you, bringing us to you're stuck by a spider web.
Spider website.
Yeah, let's get on track. So next is Hjani.
All right. I already have arrows dipped in oil, right?
You are ready to shoot.
So I am going to rapid shot the same spider that's coming straight at us.
So rapid shot gives you a -2. Now this works because it's on its way over when you'd be doing this action, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with -2, what's your
My longbow is a +9, so it's +7.
now? Its AC is 14.
All right. Oh, okay. So 4 + 7, that's an 11. That doesn't work. But come on, 12 + 7, that does work. 19.
So your first shot sails flaming through the dim but now illuminated.
Let's see what
hole.
else you can catch
And just
on
imagine
fire.
this. You can just imagine in slow motion the arrows arcing towards it. All around are sort of floating down pieces of burning silk, sort of like feathering their way down. The first one goes over the top of it as you misjudge it because it's running at you in sort of scarily fast. But your second one hits the spot for how much damage?
It is 1d8 + 1. So 1 + 1, 2 damage. All of 2 damage.
Okay, it sort of scratches along its side, leaving a sort of burning scar or rent mark. Seyda.
Throwing axe.
Okay, what's your bonus with the throwing axe?
My bonus with the throwing axe is +8.
So you reach to your hip, grab the axe, and in lightning speed do one of those underhanded throwing axe throws, tosses, and its AC is 14.
I rolled a 1 +8, but it's a 1.
It's a 1. It's a natural 1. Here's what happens. To steady yourself for the throw, you step back and step into Adam/the mess and stick your foot to the floor and sort of just throw your axe up into the air, and it sort of lands almost on top of Bjorn's head, sending him sort of like looking all kind of like weird about it. Now,
It's just a throwing axe. Don't get weird about it.
yeah, which brings us round in the order back to Bjorn, who is now flaming arrow ready, and he can get one shot in at this charging spider if he likes.
You read my mind, buddy, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a short bow shot at the spider who's closest.
What's your total bonus?
Total bonus is 5.
Okay. AC 14.
So 9 + 5 is 14.
You stick it with a burning arrow.
All right. So that's 1d6 damage, but
Yep.
we'll take care of burn in a second.
Since it's a, here's the thing, if you hit with like 3 or more and it's like stuck in it, there's going to be continuous fire damage on the next round.
Let's see what we get then.
Yeah.
All right, so 1d6. That's a 4.
Plus, you don't have a plus, so it's 4 damage on the spider. Plus, it's now partially on fire, so it's going to take damage per round as well. And now it's the spider. Now, apart from Onas, who is out of commission, I'm going to roll again for you guys. 1, 2, 3. 1. It now reaches you and makes a beeline for Seyda and tries to just, in its like sizable jaws, just grab you and bite you. What's your AC?
18.
It has bite plus 4.
Oh, great.
It's 14 plus 4 is 18. A giant spider grabs you with its sort of forelegs and sinks its fangs into your body for 1d8 plus poison. Why am I laughing? I promised I wouldn't be that DM, but I just get so happy.
You didn't laugh at the big arching spaff load, but you laugh at her getting speared
because
by
it wasn't
mandibles.
lethal damage.
I don't like him having those dice.
6 points of damage.
Oh, yay.
She's got like 50 hit points anyway, she's fine.
I got 33 hit points.
Out of
47.
Right, okay. You've got to make a saving throw against poison, which is... just looking exactly, it's a DC 12 fortitude check.
Okay, what happened to that D20?
If you fail, you get another 1d6 points of damage for your tissue being necroticized, I believe is the...
why didn't we
the
get
correct
healing
word.
goods?
Word of the day, necroticized.
It actually
Okay.
destroys your cells around the bite.
I rolled an 11 plus 6 is 17.
Yeah, you managed to push it out you
Thank
before the
God.
venom gets embedded in your wound. And the thing is,
Festers.
it's bad enough when you get bitten by a hand-sized funnel web spider or something, but like that size, wow. Okay, bring us in the order now. That was the spider, and you bring us back to Hjani and Seyda. So Hjani.
All right.
So one spider is quite far away, and it hasn't had its action yet. It's just watching, so to speak, and one is on Seyda. So you've got an arrow shot, no problem.
Would you say that other spider is just spent right now? He can't go again for another little bit?
You know what? I'll see what I can do to help Seyda. I pull out my longsword.
Yep.
That's not a like.
That's a free action.
Okay, great.
Since
So
you
I-
are not being engaged yet.
Okay,
get
and
the
it's
leg
a
cut
plus
off.
8 attack bonus. So 9 plus 8, that's 17.
Yeah, its AC's 14. You run to help Seyda and stab your longsword into it.
All right, it is 1d8 plus 3, and then a 1d6 cold damage.
Yeah, it's using
So-
frost.
5 plus 3 is 8, and then 1d6, 9 altogether.
9. Okay, so you plunge your sword in to its body for 9 points of damage, and it is leaking blood from the wound. It appears to be severely damaged.
Oh, he's hot and he's cold right now.
Bringing us to Seyda. Hjani's helping you, but it's still got you in its grips. What will you do?
I reach for my greatsword and make a swing at it.
Because it's sort of grabbing you, you're not going to be able to get out a long weapon like that this
Okay.
time. What else do you have?
I have a short sword.
Yep, you can get to that and stab away.
Okay,
What's your bonus with your short sword?
a plus 7.
Okay, its AC is 14.
Okay, let's try.
Oh my god.
Oh
What is it?
1.
Here's the thing, right? You draw your short sword, and because your foot is stuck, you just completely like twist your knee and like fall down on the floor and drop your sword too.
Can we swap dice?
No.
Ouchie.
Yeah, note for listener. We're not superstitious, but I did swap dice to my lucky dice before, and it's paying off.
Yeah.
For whatever the scientific reason or coincidence might be, it is apparently.
It's
Paying.
paying off against me.
That's right. Awesome.
You got a load of great rolls previously, so you're fine.
Which brings us round to Onas trying to escape his bonds. Now,
So, yeah.
using escape artist, you have +3,
Yep, that's correct.
and you have to beat 13 to successfully get out of your web prison. Make the roll.
Yeah, I like those odds. I'll do that. Here we go. It's a 4 plus 3. That's 7.
You remain trapped under the web for this round. Which brings us back to...
All right. I take another flaming arrow and shoot it at the closest spider, the one that's
the one that's attacking Seyda, and Hjani's right next to you. Don't roll a natural 1, that's all I'm saying. What's your bonus?
don't jinx me. Bonus is a 5.
Okay.
So here we go. It's an 18 plus a 5.
Okay, roll the damage. Oh, first of all, it takes 2 points of fire damage.
Yay! All right, so 1d6. That's a 3.
So you stick it with another flaming arrow right into the back of its head, and it collapses into a collapsed spider heap and slowly burns. Seyda, you can get up, you free your foot and pick up your weapon. Now it's the other spider's turn, and it is charging as well. But again, it'll charge within 10 feet, then it'll be the next round. So that spider charges, bringing us to Seyda and Hjani. Seyda, you lose your action getting your foot unstuck and picking up your weapon. So apart from... So Hjani can get in and attack on the onrushing spider before it reaches.
All right, that's what I do with my longsword. I just charge at the spider itself.
Fearlessly. It has AC 14.
Where is the D20? Oh, okay, there it is. Da-da-da, my attack with my longsword is a +8, so... Oh, natural 1.
Okay, you draw your sword and run charging to the spider. You mistime it, and it basically runs over you, knocking you to the floor, and then continuing afterwards, leaving you in a crumpled heap on the floor. You take 1 point of damage for hitting the floor and banging your elbows and head on concrete, essentially, on granite.
Yeah.
I hit my funny bone.
So, Onas.
Can I ask a question about my entrapment? Can I breathe okay? Am I okay?
Yes, you can.
So
You're fine. Yeah.
If I wanted to like put myself in one of my amazing trance states and actually do a
You
spell
cannot,
from within there...
Yeah, you cannot move enough to cast a spell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Don't worry. Between you and this spider having a free action to basically vampire suck you dry, as spiders do, there's Bjorn will have an action between
that's
you.
fine. I just wanted to be clear on that. Okay, that makes sense. I can't cast anything.
So now you're going to try again to beat 13 with your escape artist +3.
Yeah, and I've got my plus threes. Here goes. I got a 14 plus 3, 17, so I am out.
He managed to grab a towel.
A giant spider runs over Hjani, knocking her down, and comes over to get you immobilized and suck you dry into a husk. Before it can do so, you get yourself out, roll, and dive, and do not get sucked dry. Leaving Seyda flailing with her foot to get out the way too, and coming back round to Bjorn, who gets an action before the spider does.
I take another shot. Hopefully, this is a flaming arrow.
Yeah, you're still sort of, circling it and within, arrow distance, and it's not coming at you, so you can still do it. So, another flaming arrow.
Flaming arrow with a +5 attack bonus from a short bow. That's a 4, +5 is 9.
Okay, you make to shoot, but you just can't get a clear shot where you don't think you're going to stick one of your sort of fellow adventurers, so you just leave it.
That's noble of me.
Turn.
Thank you for not sticking us.
Good for you.
You make me noble. That's great.
Good for you.
Aww.
Bring us round to the spider. Who out of the 4 people will it try to attack? Number 3, Bjorn.
Thank God.
Bjorn, it turns around and shoots a web at you. Make a reflex save against 12. What's your reflex save?
A +7.
So you need to roll the dice, add 7, and get 12 or above.
That's 5 plus a 7 is 12. Isn't it?
5 plus 7 is 12. You're right.
Yeah. God, jeez. I thought I was really smart adding that up in my baby brain.
For a minute there, I was about to say, yeah, it's 12. I forgot that you have to, as a player, get 12 or equal. And I was preemptively laughing at the idea of you being also stuck. But you know what? I was wrong.
You find weird stuff funny.
He'll edit that bit out where he's wrong.
And he's mean tonight.
I won't.
The DM is being mean.
Come on, we've had a holiday. That's why I'm in a good mood. That's why.
All right, so I definitely
Yeah.
matrix my way out.
It turns around and tries to take you out from quite close with a strand of web, and you literally do a dive roll so skillfully you come up still holding the bow and the burning arrow ready. Nice. You shoulder roll without using your arms and keeping it. That's just how... See, you are both noble and
Rolly.
Cool. Yeah.
Rolly.
Bringing us in the order to Hjani, who gets up and does what?
All right, so I charge at the spider again.
AC 14.
Fall on your ass.
My cheeks are a little red, but I'm no worse for wear, a little bit.
I think you're punch drunk.
+8. I roll a natural one.
Yeah.
Oh,
snake eyes.
My.
Here's what happens. Hjani gets up, steadies herself, and charges again. At the time she arrives, the spider span around to shoot its web at Bjorn, sending him into that skillful roll. As it span around, the same time it span around, you had your sword back over your head, and its abdomen, its huge bulbous abdomen, comes around and just crashes into your face and chest and knocks you flying onto the floor again, sending your longsword like sort of sparking across the granite. Seyda, it's your action.
Dave Matthews.
I can grab my greatsword now.
So you can, you draw your greatsword.
Come on.
AC 14.
11 plus 7 is 18.
You step up and slash your greatsword into it. What's the damage?
I can't remember anymore. 2d6 plus 2.
Yeah, and it's not been hit yet, actually. This is quite a good fight.
4 and 3 is 7 plus 2, 8, 9.
9. Yep, you slash a huge rend down its side. Which then brings us to Onas, who is now free and ready.
Well, I can see we're in peril, and so I'm enraged and angry and feeling kind of evil. I'm going to summon a fiendish wolf.
Okay.
Yeah.
You concentrate, and materializing in front of the spider, snarling, glowing eyes, is a fiendish wolf from the nether dimensions.
The nether dimensions.
Evil pony.
It's an evil pony, but it's on our side. It's okay.
And I take it you command it to attack.
It's attacking that.
Now, what's it? It's got bite plus what?
Evil
Okay, it has bite plus 3.
And the AC is 14. Roll for the fiendish wolf as you control it.
Okay, where's the dice? Here we go. Okay, rolling. It rolls an 18. Or 19, sorry. 19.
Plus 2 is 21. It materializes, momentarily confusing the dull-brained arachnid, and your fearless fiendish wolf jumps and mauls it and starts biting. For how much damage?
Okay, there's 1d8 plus 1.
Roll that damage.
I roll a 7 plus 1, so that's 8 damage.
Okay, the fiendish wolf gives it a mauling, bringing us back to Bjorn, who could possibly get the finishing blow. You've still got the bow in hand, flaming arrow loaded up.
Arrow's still flaming. I'm taking my shot with my short bow. That's 16 with a plus 5 attack bonus is 21.
It's a hit. Roll the damage.
That's a d6. 5.
The fiendish wolf gives it a mauling and then drops. It sort of releases its jaw. The spider backs off, starts turning turning circles like spiders do. In which case, you just finish it with a shot right in the middle of its 8 eyes, killing it. The monstrous spiders are defeated, and its webs have fallen down in tatter. As well as, on the other side of the hall, the light is starting to fade as all of the webs are burnt up. And the last thing you see before it goes back to just the radius of your torch was on the opposite side of the hall, you notice, opposite to where you came in, it's not a wall, it's a huge recess like a small chapel or temple. Just in front of that is where all the stuff dropped from the ceiling when you burnt the cocoons. Also, there was some sort of head-sized silver object on the floor, not 20 feet to your right out of the light. Suddenly, you're back to the radius of your torch again. And by the way, the experience points for defeating those spiders.
Good job, guys. Good job, guys. I think we all did a good job there.
Before how I said the rats were the worst thing that ever happened to us. No, the spiders, then the rats.
800 again, so 200 each again. But you know what? Hjani, for that spectacular idea, which worked very well and also is probably going to sound pretty awesome when we listen back to this. It's a great lasting image of the dome being illuminated by flaming webs. I'm going to give Hjani another 200 on top of that.
It was a good move.
Yeah. The way you attracted those spiders to attack us.
Yeah, and then I distracted them by just falling around.
by falling down twice.
Yeah.
Routine.
Just getting in their way.
Am I able to pick up my second throwing axe? I have 2 and I lost 1.
Yeah, they're not so far out that you've lost your bearings. You could walk around.
Okay, so we should go and check out the swag, the loot, the booty.
Let's do that. Seyda, do you have any more of that healing root?
I have I have 2. I'll give you 1 and I'll keep 1.
Well, I just want to know if I can alchemy that into
I didn't take
healing balm or anything.
Can you alchemy things?
I've got good alchemy. Not to brag or nothing.
Yeah.
What if I mixed it with some I don't know, just mix it with anything.
Well, I do have a brew potion, but I don't know if I have any other ingredients I could use the healing root to make a nice potion with.
Now, in what order are we going to do this? If you walk straight forward to where you remember the central pillar is, you could find that fairly easily, and just beyond that is where the treasure fell on the floor, and just beyond that is the chapel area. But also, just off to your right was some silver object on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But also, there's the thing of the root thing, right? Which was something that you mentioned rubbing the root in at some point.
Yeah, but I didn't actually.
But I mean, you could do it now. But I mean, this was a sort of the really lowest level of natural healing thing, and it was 2 hit points back if you use it successfully. But also, Seyda would have to make it.
I would have to make it.
Yeah, so here's an interesting thing, because we never decided on your craft skills or whatever, right?
I have rope maker.
Yeah, but I have to pick something which is going to go into... You don't have... You
make
know
Twizzlers.
What? Bjorn has a pretty good alchemy
Yeah,
skill.
that's what I was saying. We were just discussing that.
I'm sorry, I was looking at my notes, so...
Quite all right.
What's your alchemy bonus?
It's a 5.
If you beat 12, you successfully turn the root into a balm for 1d4. If you beat 15, you turn it into an exceptional healing balm of 1d6.
Okay, so I'm rolling the d20. It's a 7 plus 5 is 12.
Okay, so you make a 1d4 excellent balm from the root.
Okay. Well, I gave one to Onas, but I had another 2. So can you try it again with the other 2?
No, you can count that roll as making as many or not as you like. So how many would you like him to have made?
I would like to use both of mine into a balm.
All right, so that's 2
So I now have 2
1d4 bombs.
Yeah.
Oh,
So while Bjorn whips out his, I've got to remember the correct thing, the sort of bowl and mashing thing. What does
More
the name?
pestle?
Yeah, and starts off doing his thing and bringing out some little bags of herbs you didn't even know he had.
I just say, Bjorn, could you the root that I took off Seyda earlier? Could you do the same thing with the root that she gave me? Because I didn't use it.
Okay, so then that becomes 3
yeah.
3 1d4 bombs.
Thanks.
Well, let's roll for what they do before I give some more actions out. So who's taking one? Okay,
Yeah,
spin
I'm
the
taking
dice.
one, so I put my hand up there.
Spin the dice. Go for it. The D4,
Oh, okay, D4. So I'm rolling my D4,
and you can re-roll a 1.
and I get a 3.
You get 3 hit points back.
Okay.
Seyda, are you taking one?
I'll take one, yeah.
What are you at?
I'm fine.
I got a 3 as well.
Yep, 3 points back. And is anyone else taking one, or are you keeping one in the tank?
I'm currently at 14 hit points out of a total of 23.
Should probably
Okay.
take one.
Yeah, I'll take one. And this'll take away all of our bomb. That's also a 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, Hjani, would you like to check out any of the aforementioned?
I'm going to head towards that little silver thing.
You walk right to the edge of the torchlight, about 40 feet away, and you see it is a head-sized, full silver-looking helmet mask thing of the same type that you saw Agonosphos wearing before, but it's not the same one. Now, if anyone wants to use an appraise skill, they may find out more about this.
Oh, okay. I might have.
I have a great appraise skill.
Oh, do you? I have knowledge arcana, but what's your?
I have a 5 appraise.
All right. Well,
All right, so can I touch it? I'm touching it. I put it on my head. I'm like, hey, look, guys, I'm
You're not
having
going to pick it up with
almost.
your
Okay.
broadsword.
Oh, what does it smell like?
Hjani picks it up. You look at it, and you're like, this could fit in my head. And you put it on.
Oh.
And you find out it is inside. It has kind of some sort of plush, soft lining to stop it chafing. But it smells like the worst toe rag ever. It seems to be unbelievably old and has been here a long, long time. And you've essentially put your head into a moldy sock that's been there hundreds of years.
Hey, look, guys, I smell like...
No, yeah. You gag, and when you take it off your head, it leaves a brown, streaky residue all over your face.
Can I just commend you for your use of toe rag? Because I haven't heard that for years.
Yeah, it's funny because when I was growing up, we used to call each other toe rags.
Yeah.
It's a Liverpool thing. And one day as an adult, I looked up what that was. And it was like in the oldie Victorian days when you had shitty shoes or you were homeless, your socks would wear through. So you'd actually bind your toes with material.
Yeah.
And toe rag, that was a toe rag. And it was like calling someone a toe rag is basically along the lines of what we were just doing. Yeah. Anyway.
Is this that much worse than the sewer rats, though?
For you, yes. Not for us. It's quite funny for
Now,
us.
Hjani, you have to make a DC 12 fortitude check or immediately throw up all over the floor.
All right. Well, my fortitude is a +4. Let's see. I just made a 12.
You gag, you retch, but you hold it in.
Okay, guys. That was stupid.
All right.
I'm picking up things with my broadsword again.
Now,
Yes.
same again, Bjorn. If you beat 12, you can appraise the value. If you get over 15 in total, you may get some extra information.
Interesting. Okay. That's a 14 plus 5 is 19.
It's made of some kind of silver alloy and is worth 300 gold pieces. And looking at the design, the metal, the age, the rotting on it, with your appraisal skills and your experience in the antique markets of Linake Rake where people trade their found objects, you think this is older than 500 years. It's antique, essentially. It's ancient, essentially. Could be well older. You're not an expert, but you can tell it's ancient level old.
Guys, this thing is like 500 years old.
It's pretty old.
Yeah, but judging by the price, probably get like 50 gold pieces for it. I'm going to keep it on me just in case.
It's mine.
Hang on.
You have absolutely no way of telling that's not true.
If it's that old, do you think that means maybe the anti-Theophanists were here 500 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what is the
I don't know, maybe
meaning of it being 500 years ago? Like, what?
Well, the vision I had, do you remember the vision? It was so powerful, and there was stuff happening. But the anti-Theophanists were here on this plane. Maybe that was 500 years ago.
As you recall your vision, and you look at this mask, you can't be sure, but it looks almost like the one that you saw of their leader in the vision.
I think I saw this mask in my vision of their leader in my vision.
Here he goes with his vision again.
Yeah.
Go on. What happened to this guy? Did you see his fate?
I didn't see what happened to anyone in particular. I just know.
What was he doing?
Those guys were like sacking the city. These anti-Theophanists were attacking the city that was here, but the city's not here anymore. And now there's anti-Theophanists here again. Looks like it's an ancient conflict that we've stumbled upon.
Yeah.
And now, what's your next action?
Anyway, let's go look at the loot.
Well, I slipped that mask in my bag.
Dude, I have the mask. It's my mask.
No, do you want?
But,
It's not worth anything.
You know what? I will let you have it if you put it on.
It's all yours if you want it. I'm telling you though, it's worthless.
I don't know. Yeah, sure. So put it on if it's worthless. Whatever.
She says to you with a clearly mold-streaked face.
I think you have to put it on.
If you want it.
If you want it, you've got to put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise it's just mine.
Bjorn,
It's
will
all
you
yours.
give it back or will you
Yeah,
put it on?
it's all yours then. I'm telling you though, this thing is worthless.
All right, fine.
So you might not want to weigh yourself down with it.
It's a worthless thing that I'm keeping then.
Okay.
As I wipe off
whilst they're having this argument, I go over
face.
to the piles of the other piles. Of loot
You'll
to
have
check
to
them
move
out.
as a group because of your limited light. You have one torch.
Okay,
right now.
guys, let's go and check out.
Also,
Right.
you still have your bullseye lantern, but one of the two now has no oil left,
Right.
and you'll have to refill it in order to use it again.
What are the chances that some of that loot has healing potions in it?
I really, really hope it's got healing potions in it. Let's go find out.
You walk as a group across the huge octagonal domed hall.
Write down that you got it.
Okay, here we go. You pass. Yeah, anything people don't write down, I'll just consider was lost in game if it's not on someone's sheet.
I've lost something I can't.
So
read.
you walk past the central pillar, through the middle of the space, past the basically it's like ash essentially all over the floor now, and you start to see the chapel. It's like a huge semicircular recess. We'll get to that in a moment. Before you reach it, you reach the part where their cocoons that they were storing their loot in had basically just dropped all over the floor. And let me start reading out to you guys what's here. We don't want to waste too much time splitting it up, but first of all, someone will have to just write it on one sheet, right? So, monstrous spiders. First of all, in coins all over the floor, and there's a lot of gold coins all over the floor, when you eventually count them all and collect them all up, there were 850 gold pieces in coins.
Wow.
Which is quite heavy, but I mean, doable.
What would they
There was
save them up
also
for?
a carved bone horn. Like a horn for blowing made of carved bone.
right.
Which is an art object. Bjorn, roll a DC 12 appraisal check.
So 13 plus 5 is 18.
It's worth 60 gold pieces. Ooh. There is also what is left of a magical potion, but it's now a smashed bottle and a puddle, so we can throw that one away.
Magical puddle. Do you want to lick it?
There are two more things. There is a masterwork light wooden shield, which rather than giving you the regular +1 shield bonus, would give you +2 if used with a single-handed weapon. And it's a light shield, so it's available to all of you to use except Onas.
Oh, because I only used heavy.
Because you don't know because you can't use any shield.
Okay.
And finally, glinting in the light, scattered furthest away, catching Onas's eye, seems to be some kind of sword weapon, which is light and thin with an elaborate handguard, perhaps a rapier.
Oh, I already have a rapier. Let me just compare these rapiers.
Which one's rapier?
Roll Knowledge Arcana.
Knowledge Arcana. Okay, so my Knowledge Arcana, I have a 2 skill modifier.
And you have to beat 12.
12. Okay, here we go. Oh, come on, Knowledge Arcana. Oh, I rolled an 18 plus 2. That's 20.
You pick up this rapier. It is covered in runes and silvery. You study it. You feel it in your hand. You meditate on it using your sorcerer's natural affinity with the magic that runs through all of us. And you find it's a magical rapier +1 shock that also delivers 1d6 electric damage.
Okay, so magical rapier +1 shock.
Yeah, shock gives it an extra 1d6 electrical damage. Now, as with the cold damage on your sword, the reason it's important to specify the type of damage is certain enemies would get like way more damage if they're, vulnerable to certain attacks.
Okay, great. I'm taking this rapier if that's okay, guys.
Go on ahead.
Thanks.
So you'll have to retire rapier.
Yeah, rapier, isn't it? Gone. Now I've got rapier.
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 I dip my finger into the magical puddle and give it a taste. See what it was.
That would not allow you, a barbarian, to taste what it was. What you do is you taste salty liquid mixed with ash of burning, mixed with thousands of years old dust.
Nausea
Didn't help
check.
me.
Oh, yeah, nausea check.
It can't do anything more to you than your incoming disease, don't worry.
What has become of us?
We're feeling a little weird.
It's this tower.
Yeah, it's
made
this
us
weird
weird.
tower.
Let me tell you what you see up ahead on the opposite side. At the far east side of the hall is a 50-foot wide semicircular recess that is clearly a kind of chapel. There are 3 steps up because the chapel area is raised from the hall floor. At the back of the recess is an altar, carved in a recognizably elven style. The walls around the back have faded murals that have flaky missing patches. Most striking, though, is the staff of white ash with silver runes that sits untouched on top of the altar. In front of the altar, a skeleton in tattered robes sits cross-legged in a meditation position.
Anyone want to tap that skeleton with their greatsword or sword?
I'm going to cast a detect magic on this whole scenario we've got going on here to see what I can see.
You cast detect magic. The staff glows up so red in your own vision only as almost to be blinding. Also, there appears to be some kind of charm or curse, depending on the spellcaster, over this area that you feel would sort of start if you approach the staff.
Okay, guys, I think...
But you're unable to determine the nature of it.
Yeah, pretty bad vibes. I think something might happen, then it wouldn't be good from what's happened to us already if we approach this skeleton. But that staff, very hot, magically speaking. I pull out my monkey claw and use it to try and grab the staff and bring it to me
with the mage hand. Okay.
Yeah, the mage hand. Sorry, not
monkey claw.
Yeah, it's a mummified elven hand.
It looks
in a
like
bag.
a monkey claw.
Yeah.
A monkey claw.
Do monkeys have claws?
This one.
He's thinking of sloths.
Not anymore.
It's a mummified hand of a long dead elven mage in a
Alright.
bag. So you put your hand onto your hand of the mage.
Yep, hands on the hand.
And you concentrate from the distance you're at now without ascending, and you try to move it.
30-foot telekinesis.
And nothing happens. You are being resisted by a magical force.
Okay, so I can tell there's some magic resisting me. Well, guys, the monkey hand didn't do it this time. There's some kind of magic up there. It's powerful enough to defeat a monkey's claw. What should we do?
I say just go grab it.
Yeah, you should just go grab it.
Onas, go grab it.
I say we throw something at that skeleton from outside of the circle of...
I'm going with Seyda. Do you want to throw something at that skeleton?
I don't want to throw something at the skeleton.
Oh,
I thought
God.
you wanted to throw something at the skeleton.
I'm not a thrower. Look, we've got an archer here. She should do the throwing, or maybe she could just shoot the skeleton. Why don't you...
Hey, what's this bone horn do? Can I blow in it?
Go for it.
I blow in the bone horn to see if anything happens.
Hjani puts the bone horn to her lips and blows. Suddenly, the entire huge octagonal hall and dome is filled with a a very stereotypical horn-blowing noise. And after you stop, it like echoes on for like ages, essentially, and then eventually dies away.
But nothing gross came out of the blown horn, so
It's just
I
annoying.
consider that a win.
Yeah. It's a taste on her lips
not-
of a toe rag.
Whoever met their grisly end to the monstrous spiders and had their horn taken up there was not like 500 years old, and it was suspended in a sterile silk cocoon.
Okay, kept in a clean condition. It was a clean horn. Okay, all right, fine. I shoot an arrow into the skeleton.
You take aim at the unmoving skeleton in front of you and successfully shoot an arrow at it. The arrow like hits it in the chest, like breaks through some fragile bone, hits the stone altar that it's propped up against, and breaks into half. And the skeleton doesn't move, but you've sort of, shot an arrow through it, and you've lost that arrow.
So the staff hasn't moved at all?
No.
Okay, now we've defiled the corpse.
I walk up and grab the staff.
Oh,
Bjorn, as you ascend the steps and approach, you hear a voice in your head. It says, "First, are you good in alignment and deed?"